Every day we are losing people to this deadly pandemic, and we want to make sure that we honor their memories and their lives. Tonight, our Alyssa Donovan shares the story of a woman who lost her grandfather to COVID-19 while he was recovering in the same nursing home where she works.
James Scharfenberger was the kind of grandfather who was always around.
Attended everything. He was so supportive.
At 85 years old, he was still working from home and active in his community.
Everybody loved him. He was the president of the council of his condos where he lived.
At the end of 2019, Scharfenberger went to the hospital for congestive heart failure. Instead of going home after his treatment, he was taken to a rehabilitation facility, the one his granddaughter, Christine Scharfenberger, works at.
One of my fellow nurses said, "You're all of our grandpa." You know, everybody just loved him.
But then COVID-19 hit, and suddenly the rest of the family had to stay away.
And nobody could visit him, so at least he had somebody there that have somebody meet him at the window.
Those moments would be the last. An outbreak of COVID-19 started spreading in the home in May.
And I had stayed, away from his room because it had started becoming very contagious.
The 85-year-old tested positive despite having no symptoms, and he was taken to the hospital.
I remember calling my grandma that morning, like, people are surviving, people are doing okay, don't worry. And I'll never forget that. 2 days later, that was it.
Just 2 days after learning he had COVID-19, James Scharfenberger passed away at the hospital, 4 days before his 86th birthday.
This was my grandpa. He lived a full life. He gave to society. He coached, CYO sports and contributed a lot.
Scharfenberger, one of nearly 40 residents who died from COVID-19 at the home where Christine works.
Unfortunately, I hate to say, but we got used to it. This was my grandpa, but I've worked there for 8 years, so I was close to a lot of people there. It's a rough time.
She wants people to remember her grandfather for who he was, strong and loving, not for what he died from.
Just don't forget that these are people. This is people's grandma, grandpa, son, daughter that were taken by this disease.
I'm Alyssa Donovan, WRTV.
If you've lost someone close to you with COVID-19, connect with us. We want to share their stories so that those taken from us are never forgotten. You can reach us at facesofcovid@wrtv.com.